Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to talk about some new information that I've uncovered. I've been doing research on this phenomena that's sweeping the earth, and we've labeled it over here Dirty E. It's called dirty electricity. I found some new information. I think you guys are going to enjoy this video. Stick around, don't go anywhere. I'm going to spend a lot more time in the chat room in this video. So if you guys have questions, super chats are a priority. If you want to become a Star Family member, links at the top of the chat room box. So by all means, join. It's super easy and super fun. What's going on, guys? Nicole Spencer, hello everybody. You know what, guys? Is it hot in your area? Put the temperature in the box if you don't mind. And the reason I ask is because I noticed that today, I mean, it's going to be hot here in Arizona, but the reason I ask is because it's going to be 97 degrees over in Tokyo today. I just happened to see that as I was scouring around looking at global temperatures, Corbin. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, True Blue from Ohio. The Black Blades got the #1 crown. Who's going to be the first super chat today? Let's see who's got the first super chat. Yeah, 97 in Tokyo. I mean, I'm like, is Tokyo now all of a sudden in a subtropical zone? I didn't know it got that hot in Tokyo. I really didn't. I was just kind of surprised, that's all. So I'm curious, 76 William, 87 Michael in Arkansas, 79 in Connecticut. That's nice. 102 in Portugal. Holy moly. Mary's got 89 in Sunrise, Florida. That's not too bad. Good morning. Good evening, Graham. Graham's on the other side of the earth. Graham is in the Eastern Hemisphere. Hey, what's up, Jenny? I'm not trying to miss anybody. It's just moving very, very fast. If you guys have a question, send a super chat. It highlights it and I won't miss it. Sometimes this thing gets to rolling pretty fast, which is nice. And don't forget to hit the like button. The like button pushes the live stream out there and it just makes it more fun. You know what I mean? Like right there, the Black Blade. There's a blue super chat. I can't miss it. Love your content. Thank you. Thank you, Black Blade, for the super chat. And I'll give you a super like. In this video, though, we're going to talk about the side effects of Dirty E. I found some new information. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I've been studying this phenomena off and on for almost 10 months now. When I have a little bit of spare time, which isn't very often, because I'm always researching one thing or another, I dedicate time to that. And I found some new things that are quite interesting that align with some of the theories that we've been talking about, Paul. 69 in Oregon. Wow, that's nice. 81, 76 in Virginia. Just looking at some of the temperatures. Travis, Star Family member, at 92 degrees in Dallas. Probably 92 and I would say humid. 74 in Maine, Charles. Oh, that's nice. 74. That's, hey, what's up, Armand? Howdy, everybody. 96 in Pomona Park, Florida. Just looking at some of the temperatures. You know, it's supposed to be here today. Check this out. Watch. By the way, the first super chat of the day was the Black Blade. Who's got the second super chat? Let's go. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Okay, you ready for this? Okay, here's today. This is the temperature right now. And it's, where are we at? It's not even 11 a.m. Look at that. 105. And today's high temperature, check this out. Today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 112, 113, and 114. I'm telling you, if you're out in that for any more than 10 or 15 minutes, it's just so draining. I mean, unbelievable. Hey, Tim Huntley. Yay. 88 in Sarcoxie, Missouri. 88, and I would say humid. Thank you, Tim, for the super chat. That is the first orange super chat, actually in a couple of days. Thank you, Tim Huntley. Appreciate that. And the temperature update. You know, in Missouri, it is super humid. I grew up in the Midwest, so I know how that humidity is in Missouri and Illinois and Kentucky, Tennessee, especially when you get down into the Gulf states where, I mean, you're talking swamp area. 76 in Iowa. Hello, Jeremy from Brunswick, Canada. Cape Coral, 93. 88 in Oklahoma. Who's got the third super chat? Let's just make a run of it. Graham, 17 Celsius in Scotland. So 17 Celsius. I'm going to take a 34. What is that, Graham? About 61? Help me out here, buddy. 61 in Scotland? I'm converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. I don't know why we're the only ones in the world that use Fahrenheit. Tim Huntley. Yay, Tim Huntley. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Angel Miller, raining in Lexington, Kentucky. Doesn't rain much out here. You know what? We need rain. I like it when it rains in Arizona. Not a lot, just a little bit of rain. I've got something to share with you guys later that I don't know, it's kind of interesting. We'll take a look at it later. Not in this video, though. The Street Light and All Energy, 78 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 55 in Kenai, Alaska. Boy, that's nice. Wow, good for you. 80 in Iowa. There was another super chat. Yay, Jenny Anderson, $5. I was telling my dad about you yesterday. He is the former chief engineer for Raytheon Missile Systems and is an incredible mind. He was impressed. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me give you a thumbs up there, Jenny. We try. That's one thing we do over here. We try, but we keep it honest, and we do legitimately study over here. Been researching for years. And we're going to figure this out. 63, Graham, I was close. I said 61. Thank you, Graham. Drew S., good morning, buddy. Drew's a Star family member. Watching you while you were on the beach yesterday in Bethany Beach, Delaware, on vacation with my family. Ah, that's super cool. Thank you, Drew. You're very kind. 78 degrees in Tennessee. 64 Black Blade. 91 in Baja, California. Baja, California, sir. That's about normal for there, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. 75 plus dew points in tropical humidity. Michael Sith Archangel, UV of 9. The UV here has been pretty high here recently. It's been in the extreme range. Today's not one of my formal reading days, even though I will take a reading at noon. I share them like every other day, but the UV here in Arizona has been getting up into the extreme range. And even my friend up in Abbotsford, British Columbia, theirs is always up in the high extreme range, sometimes higher than ours out here in Arizona. All right, doing good, doing good. Who's got the next super chat? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Light it up, guys. 67 and raining in Greenville, South Carolina. You know, just just saying the word rain sounds good. I mean, it sounds absolutely delightful because we'll go weeks out here, sometimes months. Can you imagine going months out here in the desert with no rain? But after all, it's the desert. It's what we signed up for, right? But the next 3 days are going to be incredibly hot. And you know one thing I think about, and I'm sure a lot of you think about it too, how do the animals, you know, deal with these 112, 13, 14 degree days? It's just unbelievable. Thank you, Robert Staples. Thank you, Nessascary, 78 in Sandusky, Ohio. That's not too bad. That's actually pretty good. Mid-70s is ideal. Love you guys. 9 UV in San Francisco. If it's 9 right now, it's a little high because it's only like 10 o'clock in the morning. It shouldn't be 9 at 10 a.m. But in the afternoon, honestly, that's normal for summertime. Negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit on Mars. How about that? Never been there. 9 UV. The 9 UV should be normal for this time of year. Ah, yeah. Moderator brought that up. Yeah. I don't know if we should talk about that or not. Yeah, I had to put in some new security cameras. Something a little weird going on. I don't know how to really explain it. It's something it's new to me. It's never happened. So just taking some precautionary measures, as I mentioned the other day about the weird black van that we saw in the neighborhood twice on 2 different occasions. And it just kind of went out of our field of view before we even had a chance to to get a picture, and it didn't show up on the cameras that we had. So just trying to, any connection between dirty electricity and copper particulates in the atmosphere? Good question, Graham. Maybe. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's probably a connection to the gold particulates in the atmosphere. As we've talked about before, the Earth is just surrounded by gold. There's gold in the Earth's crust, in the Earth's core. Literally, there's gold in me and you. You have gold in you, gold particulates. Yes, that is true. So here we go, guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about this phenomena that's sweeping the Earth. We've been talking about it now for, my goodness, 9 months. So if you came up on a facility like this right here, Kalkaska, Michigan. Okay, this isn't. None of these are too bright. I'm being super considerate to those that are sensitive to the flashing lights. So there's not going to be any bright ones in this video. Jamie and Marcy came up on this. Looks like a convenience store. Okay, and it was doing that. And they found it super weird. So ever since I saw this and the other like 2,100 videos that I've received of this phenomena, I've obviously been researching it, and I've learned that there is a phenomena known as dirty electricity. And this is just simple things that I've found, and one thing led to another, kind of like a domino effect. Dirty electricity, also known as electrical pollution. Once we go over all these things that I've found, you'll see that these flashing lights aren't really a coincidence. There is something influencing these, I think. It's way, way more than just bulbs, and it's way more complicated. There is something sweeping the Earth. So let me go over the first one here. Dirty electricity, also known as electrical pollution, refers to the presence of high-frequency voltage transients riding along the 50 or 60 hertz electricity provided by the electrical utilities. These additional frequencies, and people talk about the ears ringing, is anybody experiencing ears ringing? That's not your ears, more than likely it's your central nervous system. And that could be attributed to this as well. Your ears are, in a sense, acting like these bulbs, right? Okay, here we go. These additional frequencies, which are called electromagnetic interference, or EMI, piggyback on the electrical wiring and radiate into the living environment. And that extra frequency turns into this, causes lights to malfunction. Could possibly, I'm not saying that it does, because I don't know. The ringing of the ears could be a variety of things, It really could. It could be the sun, it could be, the magnetic field, it could be the core of the Earth. There was an email, let's turn that off. Could be a lot of things. But I truly do believe that there is a phenomena sweeping the Earth that's causing these lights rogue and randomly. As you're going to see in the research that I've found, this is a rogue and random phenomena. Dirty electricity origins. Where does it come from? This is just a learning experience, guys. I'm sharing with you what I've learned. So when I do share these videos, and I'm still getting them, I got some this morning. They're still coming in every day. I'm approaching 2,200 videos from different people all around the world. Where does dirty electricity come from? It can be generated by many modern devices, and it can also be generated naturally through the environment, maybe from the sun, maybe from the Earth's core. But this is what I came up with first, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's one of the many possibilities. Smart meters, solar inverters, dimmer switches, compact fluorescent lights, EV chargers, any device that rapidly switches on and off. So dirty E, that's what we've just kind of labeled it, dirty E. It's just short for dirty electricity. Thank you, Meserliptic. How do you get the reports on the rare snow in Australia? Thank you. Actually, no, but we're going to look into that. Thanks for the heads up about the rare snow in Australia. Wow. I'm not surprised, though. Nothing surprises me anymore. And thank you for the super chat. That is super kind and super cool. Okay, there's another super chat. Graham, any connection between these locations and ley lines? Haven't found one yet. Close, Graham, close, but I did look. Very good question. Okay, so here we go. Yes, dirty electricity exists. It is a real thing, guys. It's not something that's of our imagination that we just made up. It is real. It's a form of electromagnetic noise. And you guys talking about the ringing of the ears, I know a lot of people experience that. It could be this. I'm not saying it is. It could be. It's a theory, okay? It's just a theory. Dirty electricity exists. It's a form of electromagnetic noise on electrical lines. What do electrical lines do? They carry current. They're current carriers that carry the source that activates the light bulbs, that activates your clock, your monitor, your computer, your phone. I've even seen phones here in the last few months malfunctioning, headlights on cars. Moving on. It's measurable and may affect power quality or sensitive devices. Again, this is new research that's been uncovered regarding the dirty E phenomena that's sweeping the earth. I think it's a very strong theory. Claims about health effects are controversial and not universally accepted. Filtering devices exist, but may or may not offer tangible benefits depending on your situation. So yes, dirty electricity exists. This is a side effect right here. We're looking at one of the 2,200 examples of dirty electricity that have been sent in just to me. And keep in mind, I'm just one person. So for me to get that many, you know that it's happening in tens of thousands of locations around the world that, we just don't see. People are probably seeing this all the time and, are probably wondering as well, what is going on? So we're trying to figure out what's going on. That's all. Because it's just super weird. Thank you, Frank the Rabbit. The Earth's core is spinning the opposite way and affecting the magnetic field. Very good point, Frank. Thank you for the super chat. I have strongly considered the Earth's core. In fact, I was telling my wife the other day that I think the Earth's core, and Graham as well, Graham knows, could be going through some sort of a change. So let's see, moving on, I want to share with you guys the new information that's been uncovered. Here we go. Moving on. Could an EMP simulate the effects of dirty electricity? What if it was a natural EMP? For instance, we know that the magnetic shields are going through some changes right now. There's an anomaly down in the South Pacific known as the South Pacific anomaly, right? So could it be generated naturally? Yes, of course it could. Here we go. We're going to read a little bit more of the things that I've learned here just in the last few months. It's been a fascinating journey. I've never seen anything like this. I've been receiving videos from people for many, many years. And all of a sudden, for some reason, in November of 2024, every day I started getting these things. So from my point of view, I knew something was up. I just didn't know exactly what was up. But now I'm all in. This is the direction I'm leaning. This is the theory that I'm on board with. Could an EMP simulate the effects of dirty electricity? And it explains to us what exactly happens if dirty electricity gets inside of a circuit, a substation, a power line, your house. Watch, it's very, very enlightening. Could an EMP simulate the effects of dirty electricity? Yes, but on steroids, hypothetically. An EMP creates a tsunami of electrical noise, while typically dirty electricity is more like ripples in a pond. Both are forms of high-frequency interference, just on vastly different scales. So yes, an EMP can create that. Absolutely. I'm going to read something else. Okay, that's the one that we just read. Trying to keep okay. Can an EMP cause dirty electricity? This is just another form of information I found. Yes, as the EMP energy enters the grid, it can contaminate the wiring. This is what we've been talking about. The wiring in the circuits are at least temporarily contaminated, okay? The contaminated wiring and devices far from the original pulse zone, essentially creating a dirty, unstable electrical environment full of surges and transients, which may persist briefly before full grid collapse or shutdown. And that's another reason we've been following this very closely, because this could be a really, really big deal. I mean, it's not something that is just affecting light bulbs. It's probably affecting a lot of things. Moving on to number 5. Here we go. Nope, not that one. We're going to move on to which one? Okay. Got these things. Here we go. 6B. Compatibility dimmer. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. This is good information, so just hang tight. You'll be glad you did. Here we go. Here's how dirty electricity affects light bulbs. Okay? So this is 5. Then we're going to go on to 6. Flickering or buzzing. We've seen both. Again, I received over 2,000 different videos. In fact, I'm approaching 2,200. Look what it says. How does dirty electricity affect light bulbs? Flickering and or buzzing. High frequency voltage transients or electrical noise can cause LEDs and CFL bulbs to flicker intermittently. We've been talking about that. Intermittent electrical surges and rogue and random. And then the buzz or hum audibly. A lot of you guys are talking about the ringing of the ears and stuff like that. Maybe this is part of the situation going on here. Magnetic north is moving farther, or is moving faster than the south. That's true, Graham. Thank you for the super chat. And that could be causing some of this instability, at least the fluctuations in electricity and what's going on. This is a global phenomenon, guys. This isn't something that's just happening in, Cobb County or wherever. This is happening all around the world. I'm showing some of the more extreme examples just on a wider scale, not necessarily brighter. I've got them toned down, but here's an entire parking lot. So it's way more than just one bulb here or there. Here's another one. San Antonio, check this one out. This is a shocking example, and this is for those of you that haven't seen this. Can you imagine coming up on a parking lot this size? This parking lot's probably 5 acres, 6 acres at least. There's 40 bulbs in there, 40 power poles in there, and they're all malfunctioning. So that tells you right there, that's out of San Antonio, Texas. So that tells you right there, it's way more than a bulb issue, right? Moving on, this is interesting. This is good information. Okay, dirty E and dimmer switches. That's not that one. 6A. Where are we at? 6A. Okay, which bulbs? We did that one. Okay, which bulbs are more sensitive? We've learned that they're all sensitive to this dirty electricity. Even solar bulbs that are maybe LED, but they're not even connected to the grid. And that was the giveaway right there. When we saw solar bulbs flashing, it's like, yo, this is a big deal. Sensitivity to dirty electricity. Incandescent, low, simple, filament or no, electronics, halogen, low to medium, CFLs high, and LEDs high. Those are the most sensitive, and those are the most common, I mean, but what we've noticed is practically every bulb so far, like you see the purple ones back there, that's from a magnesium strip going faulty. And it mentions in here in the research that I've done that the dirty electricity can cause components of the light bulb to go faulty. And then they certainly are, with the thousands of purple bulbs that we've seen, not counting the ones that we haven't. Incompatibility with dimmer switches, dirty electricity combined with poor quality dimmer switches can cause extreme flickering, humming, or total failure to the network. This dirty electricity is no joke. And as you're going to see right here in the next one, my goodness, it's right here, the prime example, the purple lights. There's a magnesium strip in the light, and all of these lights, for whatever reason, these purple lights, and right here's a stretch of highway. This was sent in, I got another video sent in by Chip Snyder out of South Florida. He was on a stretch of highway, and it spanned for several miles. So how can all of the bulbs, the magnesium strip that causes the bulbs to go faulty, right here it is. I believe this was Chip Snyder down in North Palm Beach County. Let me just pause it right here. Both sides of the road, 90% of the bulbs on both sides of the road all went bad at the same time. So that tells you that there was a surge of electricity, dirty electricity, that caused the magnesium strip to go bad. I mean, sometimes the simplest explanation is the most sensible and correct explanation. There's no way that all those bulbs went bad at the same time. Watcher 7872, I had 104 at my house in Finger Lakes, New York last week. Wow, thanks for sharing. That is hot. That sounds like Arizona heat. Oh my goodness, that's hot. Thanks for sharing. Really do appreciate that. Where's my list here? So here's how I look at this. This is how my mind works. And I know a lot of you guys, you think the same way. You're thinkers. You like to be a problem solver and fix things. I've been a fixer all my life. You know, I've had to repair things and fix things and teach myself. But with regard to this here, okay, look at all the purple bulbs on both sides of the road. Look at all the cars on the left-hand side of the road and on the right-hand side of the road. What if on all the vehicles, they all got a flat tire at the same time? Would you think that was a little odd, or that's just normal? All these cars right here, both sides of the road, what if they all got a flat tire right here in this video? Would it just be a random coincidence? Or could there have been something in the road on both sides of the road that caused, there's a cause and effect is what I'm saying. There was something in both sides of the road that caused the tires to be punctured and go flat and lose their air. So same principles apply here with the bulbs. There was a contributing factor that caused them to turn purple at the same time. The magnesium strip didn't just wear out in the same exact hour on the same day. Something influenced it, and that something was dirty electricity. That's my humble opinion. Here's another example of this video, and you can see the lights just go on and on and on. There's literally dozens and dozens of these things just on this road alone. Bottom line, here we go, and I've got more information to share with you guys. I've got several more examples of good research that I found involving this phenomena. Bottom line is this: yes, dirty electricity can interfere with modern light bulbs, especially LEDs and CFLs, causing flickering, there you go, noise, erratic behavior, reduced lifespan, like we're looking at the purple bulbs right there. They were affected more than likely by a batch of dirty electricity that went through the system, caused the bulbs to go bad, and then, you know, it left. It's not like it's there perpetually. It just went through the system right there. If you're noticing these symptoms, your home's wiring or local grid might be introducing electrical noise. So it's basically a frequency that hops onto current carriers, power lines, whether they're above ground or below ground. Like in the situation with these street lights here, the power source is underground. So are electrical surges being absorbed in the earth? Of course they are. Especially during geomagnetic storms, there's electrical ground currents that are measurable. And sometimes there's spikes in the ground currents. That's not anything new. But you factor in modern technology and our modern way of life. We have lights on streets in metropolitan areas and big cities and small cities as well. But factor in an EMP or dirty electricity, it's going to cause these things to malfunction. To me, it's common logic. I think it goes hand in hand. I think that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Okay, let me get back to business here. I've got a lot of information to share with you guys in a short period of time. Who's got the next super chat? Let's let her roll, guys. Who's got the red one today? Okay, where are we at? Oh, that was number 8. The next one is number 8. I've got so many over here. Again, I've got about 30 windows open, but we're going to get through them. Here's another one. Graham has been talking about this as well. Graham from Scotland. Could the Earth's core be causing rogue EMPs? And the thing about the Earth's core, the theory that I like about that is the Earth's core is definitely big enough to impact the entire Earth quite easily, you know what I mean? And this is a global phenomenon. I've gotten videos from, like I said, Tasmania, Australia, Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, I think the only place I haven't gotten them is from India and some rogue locations over there. I've even gotten them out of China, Tokyo, or no, not Tokyo, Shanghai, all the way up through France, Spain, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, the United Kingdom, multiple examples out of the United Kingdom. Could the Earth's core create dirty E? A disturbance in the Earth's core, this is information that I found, wouldn't create dirty electricity in the conventional home circuit sense. But, here we go, but it could trigger electromagnetic effects that influence the power grid or the atmosphere. Because as we all know, the Earth's core creates the geodynamo, and it's creating the magnetic shields, right? So if there's an issue with the magnetic shields, like Graham was thinking too, wouldn't there be an issue with the Earth's core? I mean, I'm just saying, it makes sense to me. But again, it could trigger electromagnetic effects that influence the power grid or the atmosphere, and those effects could resemble or even generate dirty electricity under the right conditions. So even the Earth's core could create rogue and random EMPs around the world, and you're not going to know where they're going to show up. It's like as unpredictable as weather. You're going to have a clear day one day, then the next day you may have a batch of rogue EMPs coming through contaminating electricity, and then it's gone the next day. And this was an unbelievable example of the purple lights that are sweeping the Earth. This next example I want to share with you guys is out of Memphis, Tennessee. I've got some more information to share with you guys. Love Arkin, thank you so much for the, you are now a Star family member. Thank you so much. Or you are a Star family member. Check out this example out of Memphis, Tennessee. All I did was center the video because it was a vertical video and zoom in. Tila out of Memphis was driving down the road. All of these lights on this is a major thoroughfare. In fact, she comes up on an interstate in one of these videos. Lights on both sides just going blink, 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 flickering. Look down, all the way down as far as she could see in this video. They were shocked. They were driving around Memphis making videos of these flashing lights. They had never seen this before. So look at this freeway. Both sides of this 4-lane freeway. Here's another example. This entire complex. And I'm just sharing some of the more large-scale examples that certainly imply that this is much bigger than just a light bulb going bad. This is an entire complex. This video was sent in by Stephanie out of, I believe, Memphis. Another Memphis. So Memphis was a hot spot there for a while. Look at this entire complex. 1 building, 2 buildings. There's like 3 more buildings, maybe 4. We're watching now, maybe 5. I don't know. There was a lot. But all of the lights on the front of the apartments or hotels, whatever this is, all of the lights on the front, rogue and randomly, started blinking. She had never seen this before. That's what compelled her to take the video. This one here is another example of it's got to be way more than a bulb, because as you're going to see, Brian in Junction City, Kansas, this was on a clear night. There were no storms at 4:31 in the morning. And in fact, it was during the overnight hours. They came up on this convenience store that for some reason was completely going dark. Check this out. Looks like something you would see out of a movie. Look at that. The whole place was turning dark. Not just 1 bulb, 2 bulbs, even 3 or 4 bulbs. The whole place. So if that's not an example of dirty electricity, I honestly don't know what is. The entire facility, except for one little light right in there that may be run by batteries or something. I don't know, but that's just not something that's normal. You don't come up on buildings that just go dark. Not in today's world. It's just not, not normal. But again, back to the dirty electricity. It is a real thing. Based off of just what I've seen, guys, I'm nearing 2,200 videos globally. I've shared less than half. There's so many examples to get to. We could spend an entire day on this. There's that many, and they're still coming in. And this is at original speed. You can see the lights going on, off, not just one, but the entire place. So there was clearly an issue going on. And again, it was a clear night. It was not storming. So to me, this is yet another example of dirty electricity in action, sweeping the earth. They rolled their window down, stopped in the middle of the road to film that. Even the parking lot light went out that time. So all of the electricity was being interfered with. Was it a high frequency noise as you know, was being described with regard to dirty electricity? Very well could be. Is that what's causing people's ears to ring? This dirty electricity phenomena? Is it the Earth's core changing? You would think the Earth's core is doing something, but as Graham mentioned in his research, even if the Earth's core changed its temperature by like a half a degree, it would create a lot of big radical changes on the surface of the Earth. A half of a degree. It's unbelievable how sensitive it is. So if it is changing, we're going to see signs of it. And I think this would be one of the signs. The electricity, for whatever reasons, through dirty electricity, electromagnetic interference, high frequency interference, is causing the electricity to malfunction. We're thinking it's the bulb issue, maybe a bulb's going out, when in all reality, like right here, this is in Mason City, Iowa, Veneta. This entire parking lot, multiple buildings, and these buildings are on separate circuits. You can see a parking lot light over there. Then that facility, all the lights are blinking. It's just not normal. I've never seen that myself. Have never seen anything even remotely close to that. So it is highly unusual. And again, all of this is theoretical, but we do have information that can back up some solid theories, you know. Dirty electricity can cause lights to malfunction and flicker. It's the bottom line. It sure can. Is it? I think so. I think that's what's going on. And guys, just so you know, I'm still getting videos every single day. I got more videos today of the flashing light phenomena from all around the world. They're still coming in. What's going on, guys? I hope you learned something in this video. We're just sharing knowledge. Knowledge is something, I try to learn something new every day. And if I can pass that on to you, if it's helpful in your life in any way, hey, that's great, you know, that's what we want. We have to help each other through these times. And you know, I see stuff on a day-to-day basis that, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where some of this information comes from. You know, my wife will be showing me different videos and posts of this, that, and the other, and I'm like, well, for instance, the St. Lucia volcano eruption supposedly that occurred the other day. You know, it just simply wasn't true. I'm like, no, hon, it's not erupting. Well, it says right here, you know, the volcano's erupting. I'm like, no, that's not true, you know. So there's a lot of things that going around. You just have to be careful where you get your information. Just know that I'll always be honest, you know, with you guys. I'm not gonna, you know, tell you there's a volcano erupting down in the Southern Caribbean when there's actually not. I just tell you it's not. In fact, I did. I posted a comment saying that the volcano was not erupting, and it's not. So are we going through changes with regard to volcanoes and earthquakes? Absolutely. We're going to talk more about that later in depth. What's causing that? But today, or actually this morning, I know it's evening in some parts of the world. Our friend Graham over in Scotland, it is past dinner time in Scotland. It's almost lunchtime here. I'm going to do a UV reading today. More than likely, it will be in the extreme range. I haven't got one over 12 yet, but if and when I do, and I will, more than likely before the summer is over, just know that's normal for Arizona. But if it gets up above like 14, then we know we've got an issue with the magnetic shields. And one thing that I like to mention, we measure the UV. Oh, look, we had a big flare. Right there, that's the biggest one we've seen now in over 2 weeks. So the solar activity is picking up. So you know what that means. Earthquakes are going to pick up. Volcanoes are more than likely going to pick up. That was a big flare. I have to see if it was Earth directed. I'll have to investigate that, but it's happening. Wildfires are really just going loco out here in the western United States. You can see the wildfire from California traveling, the wildfire smoke traveling all the way over to Las Vegas and beyond up into southwestern Utah. And there's the Grand Canyon fire. We're going to talk more about that later. But the wildfire over in Southern California has gotten way out of hand. So the wildfires are way out of hand. Earthquakes are way out of hand. We're going to talk about a possible hurricane in our next video. Is it going to materialize? We'll just have to wait and see. Right now, I'm leaning towards the no side, but we are looking at the possibility of a landfall here, maybe in the next couple of weeks. But again, I don't know if it will materialize. These weather forecasts, I don't want to go beyond 5 days. That's a 10-day forecast showing a possible Cat 2, 3 making landfall along the east coast of the United States. But again, that's no guarantee. It's way too far out, way too far out. Yeah, we can't control nature. Where is Southern California? Oh yeah, thank you, moderator. That's true. Your super chats do directly support this channel. As you can see, it's not getting recommended too much, so super chats help. Super chats help, and I appreciate that. I really do. Callie will raise cash with embezzle them. We have so much smoke. Oh, thank you, Ponch, for sharing that. The smoke from Canada. I don't have my Zoom Earth open. I don't think. Do it? I do. All right, let's go. Here we go, Zoom Earth. Let's go up to today. Yes, let's go to yesterday. And yes, you are right, Ponch. The wildfire smoke is definitely going through your neck of the woods. Look at that. Wildfire smoke spanning thousands of miles. Are you serious? Coming from northern Manitoba, northern Saskatchewan. Look at that. Wow. Wildfires, seriously, off the hook. They are thriving up in Canada. Big time wildfires up in Canada. We have wildfires out here in the western United States, but not that big. Wow, that's a lot of smoke. Again, traveling all the way over to our friend Ponch. They're seeing the wildfire smoke over there, and that's influencing sunrises and sunsets. I've gotten pictures I'm going to share with you guys later of some interesting sunsets and sunrises behind this wildfire smoke, and then factor in the Sahara sand, and it just makes a heck of a mess. I mean, it really does. It just totally messes up the environment. But that's just part of it. That's how everything rolls. That's how it's engineered. And that's just how this place works. Looking at the wildfires from Zoom Earth, you can see the very large fire over here near Santa Maria, the Grand Canyon wildfire, a wildfire in south central Utah that's delivering smoke. Las Vegas is getting it from about 3 different locations. It's getting it from California one day, it's getting it from the Grand Canyon the next day, and then the next day it's getting it from Utah. So they're not even having wildfires in Las Vegas that I'm aware of, but you couldn't tell it. I've got a video that will show a wildfire, what looks like a wildfire in Las Vegas, and there isn't one. And you can see one up here. I think that's a wildfire not far from the Area 51 side. I think Area 51's up here in northern Nevada Groom Lake. There's a wildfire right there. So they're sparsely scattered all around the western United States, even in Colorado. Our friends in western Colorado dealing with wildfires. South of Grand Junction dealing with wildfires. On the border of New Mexico, yeah, New Mexico and Colorado right there. Another wildfire. They are everywhere, just scattered around the western United States. I don't see any out east. But the eastern United States isn't necessarily known for its wildfire activity, even though there's more forestry out along the eastern United States. And you can see it on satellite. Whenever there's satellites that actually monitor photosynthesis, and you can see the big difference in photosynthesis east of the Mississippi compared to west of the Mississippi. It's a fascinating satellite. I'll see if I can find it and share that with you guys. But it does show that there's more greenery, trees and forest east of the Mississippi than there is west. Nature is far stronger. What's up, Tony? What's up, Eric? How's it going, guys? Hope everybody's having a good day. Thank you for the super chats and the new Star Family members. Everybody's welcome. All right. I kept this photo up today because it was so cool. I left it up 2 days in a row. I was going to change it this morning, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to leave that one. That was an incredible photo shared by Chris out of Australia. This photo was taken in Perth, just south of Perth, Australia. Look at that. There were no other clouds in the sky anywhere except this gigantic structure that spanned as far as, it was his mother that took the picture. as far as she could see in both directions. What a cool photo. So I left it up another day. Usually I change them every day, but I gotta admit, that is wild. How does something like that just form and just hangs there and keeps a straight profile? It doesn't move. It just kind of just sits there. You gotta admit, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and that looks like something straight out of a movie, but that was real. That was real. Yeah, very, very cool. Polenta, hey, Polenta. Good afternoon, Polenta. Good to see you. Well, good morning. You're still in the morning over there in Northern Cali. Northern Cali. Let's look at the power outage situation real quick, guys. Just kind of bouncing around. What do we have here? 10,890 off the grid right now in Texas. 45,000. Why we got 45,000 offline in California? Let's see where they're at. If you click on the state, it'll show you where the power outages are at, or at least the vast majority. And you can see the vast majority are in San Bernardino County, down here in Southern California. Well, guys, we're going to look and see, are they having weather issues over there? Let's look and see. Let's do it. You can see on the monitor behind me, right there. Why is there that many people offline in Southern California? That's more out in the desert area. I don't know. That just showed up. Sometimes they have 10, 12,000, but 45,000, almost 46,000, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of customers. That's obviously affecting well over 100,000 people. Wow. And it's hot out there in that part of the California desert. Woo. PG, oh, it's windy in California. Thank you, Sister G. Yeah, it kind of looked like there was a system moving in, but it didn't have any moisture content with it, but it was moving pretty fast. Now, Khalees, no, I do. You're Khalees. I just don't talk about it too much, and I have my reasons, okay? Because years ago, geoengineering, you know, for some reason, I don't know, they just really didn't want people talking about it. So I just tried to stay away from controversial topics, but it's a real thing. You can Google it and find it. It's not, you know, it happens. It happens. Hey, Russell. Oh, thank you, Russell. Appreciate that. That's very kind. Russell got the red super chat. Thank you, Russell. Really appreciate that. Wow, that's nice. No, I didn't talk about it for years. And you know what? You are exactly right. And that's why, because look, when I do these videos, I like for them to get as far out as they can. And that all depends on, you know, like how many super chats you get. That determines the popularity of your live stream, how many likes you get. The more likes you get, the more your video presentation gets recommended. It's really how it works. So if you put up a live stream that doesn't get any likes, it's not getting any super chats, it's not getting any type of activity, thank you, Russell Stevens, once again, then they're not going to recommend it. And especially if you're sitting here talking about, and it's not really controversial anymore, it's an open topic. I mean, geoengineering is a real thing. It's been going on for well over 20 years, so it's no longer a secret. So yeah, I mean, I think if it can help humanity safely, great. You know, if there's areas and farmers that are struggling that need rain and we can do it safely, great. Then do it. What are you waiting on? As long as it doesn't hurt people or animals, you should be good to go. So yeah, it's not a secret anymore. But there for a while, I didn't. I wouldn't talk about it because they'd put in the you know, description. Oh, that's not, you know. It is a thing, you know. It is a thing. It's called cloud seeding. They seed clouds and make it they increase the snowpack, which creates more water runoff in the spring. Great, you know, that's a good thing as long as it's not hurting people, as long as it's safe. That's my only thing. I just want it to be safe for everybody. So yeah, it's a real thing. And you're right, Khalees. I did not talk about it for the longest time. But I do now. Not something I dwell on though, but because I only know as much about it as, we can find here and there. And I want to make sure it's accurate information, that's all. That's all. And everything was kind of secretive there for a while. But like I said earlier, if it can stop a drought and save a farmer's crops and things like that, you should be doing it if it's safe. We need our farmers. They need to thrive too. Sometimes they get caught up in these droughts, and the droughts are often caused by the transition between La Nina and El Nino. It'll create sometimes 2 and 3 year drought patterns. And I've seen it, I've watched it over the years, and it is as consistent as a clock when the transition occurs. And it creates droughts in very specific places. It's so weird how it's weird how accurate it is. It's uncanny. So if I can figure it out when El Nino and La Nina do their transition, it's going to create a drought in southwestern Kansas. Well, if you can make it rain there during that drought, I think that's a good thing, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. That's all. Good for you, help people. It's all about helping one another. Not keeping secrets and, not being able to talk about this or the other. If you can help people, do it. Don't hesitate. Do it safely. Ain't that right, Russell? Thank you, Russell. I really appreciate that. That helps the channel, guys. It really does, The super chats, the super stickers, the likes, if you guys hit that like button. That's why the moderator is always asking, hey guys, hit that like button. Sometimes I'm busy trying to keep 20 windows going here in some sort of sensible, presentation. Here you're looking at the rim of the Grand Canyon. Let's update this. This is the wildfire smoke. Look at that wildfire smoke. Looking out across the Grand Canyon, see the wildfire smoke? It looks like it's pushing the smoke to the north. Is that correct? North and east. More east than north. There it is right there, and there it is right there. It'll be more visible this afternoon, but boy, that is one big wildfire. Over 120,000 acres now. I'll share that with you guys later on, but the Grand Canyon's right there. The Grand Canyon has been a literal hotspot for the last several weeks. One day, the smoke was drifting to the south and didn't have far to go, a little over 200 miles, which is no problem for a big wildfire. I mean, you can see the wildfire smoke going from Southern California all the way over to Las Vegas. That's farther than Grand Canyon to Phoenix. But yeah, no problem. We're looking at wildfire smoke up here traveling thousands of miles. Look at that. Going from northern Saskatchewan, Fort Smith, Yellowknife up in the Northwest Territories of Canada, all the way over to New England. Watch, I'll step it ahead a day, and it does make its way all the way over to England. Woo! I mean, that's a lot. Look at that. Are you serious right now? Look at that big thing in the sky. It looks like a big shrimp. That wildfire smoke traveling thousands of miles. That wildfire smoke will probably reach our friend Graham over in Scotland. It may be a little diluted by the time it gets there, but it'll get there. It'll get caught up in that northern jet, and away it goes. That's what's happening to this little tropical storm right now in the northern Atlantic that has wind speeds of 45 miles an hour. And it does have a little bit of a satellite presentation. There's a small eye in there. It's kind of covered now because of the lopsided fashion. Tropical storms and hurricanes cannot function when they're tilted. And you can see this is being pulled to the north by a very large center of rotation up here. A large low pressure is pulling all that energy to the north. So that storm's not going to have a chance to even become a hurricane because of the climate conditions. It did form, though, on the other side of the Sahara sand right there. It didn't form in the Sahara sand because it can't. The laws of physics won't even allow it. But up here, it just had enough breathing room to become a small tropical storm. There it is right there. So it does have an eye wall. This is a very credible source. I've used this for years, Null School. So if Null School says it's there, believe it. We're also going to talk about in our next video, I have a fresh perspective of our interstellar traveler moving through the inner solar system. I think we're being visited by something other than a comet. I've been saying that all along, and I'm still convinced that it's not a comet. Based off of what I'm seeing right now, what I'm analyzing doesn't look like a comet. So I can't even lean in that direction right now because it doesn't look like a comet. So we're going to take a fresh look at that later on. All right, guys, listen, thank you for all the super chats. You guys hit almost every color today. I think you did. Good job. Good job. Hurricane. Nice one, Matt. I like that. Hurricane. Thank you, moderator. My moderator, I have the best moderator on YouTube. Yay for my moderator. Does an excellent job, always thinking of the things that I don't. I'm over here keeping track of the flow of information, and she's reminding the chat of the things that are also important too, you know, something as simple as a like. You know, if you just like the live stream, it pushes it out there a little farther. So yeah, it makes it a little more successful. Thank you so much for all your likes, all your super chats. Russell Stevens was the top super chatter today. Way to go, Russell. Appreciate that. What coming is a spaceship. You know, we're going to take a closer look. I've got a new edited version, new analysis of the object that's coming in like an airplane. It's flying horizontally through the solar system. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And it does have the characteristics more of a large ship, or at least something of intelligent design, I don't know, than it does something natural. It's not acting like a comet, moving extremely fast. And from what I understand, it's slowing down. So usually when comets get closer to the sun, they speed up exponentially, not slow down. So that alone is interesting, along with the fact that it doesn't have a presentation. Its appearance doesn't look like a comet. It's slowing down, which isn't behavioral characteristics of a comet. So maybe it's not a comet, huh? I'm thinking not. No way, man. No way. In the Grand Canyon, there are people around. Oh yeah, the Grand Canyon. Here's another look at the Grand Canyon. I'm telling you, that's called the Dragon. Who names these wildfires? Right here it is. Dragon Bravo. That's the California wildfire, but let me refresh it to Dragon Bravo. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. Just to get the numbers. There you go. 123,434 acres and counting. 13% contained. Day 31. 1,207 personnel actively working on the wildfire right there. And the majority of it's right over here. I know it's a little difficult to see because of the sun angle, but this afternoon you'll be able to see that smoke billowing, and it's traveling far and wide. It's not traveling quite as far as the wildfire smoke up in Canada, but it is traveling. Like I said, we've gotten the smoke down here in Phoenix, and our air quality went from a normal 30 to 40 range to 500 plus. Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. That's my moderator wanting to know if I saw Russell's fabulous super chat. And I did. Thank you again, Russell. That is awesome. Super cool with the super chats. Way to go, guys. Keep them coming. Yeah, I know. Dragon, who names these wildfires? I don't know where they come up with some of these names. They're Dragon Bravo. Is it something they just maybe draw out of a hat? They put a series, everybody puts a name in a hat and you just draw it out. Dragon Bravo. And then the wildfire over in California, it's called the Gifford Fire. That's 65,000 plus acres. We're going to talk more about that in our next video. But wow, there's Graham. 3I Atlas could be composed of antimatter. Graham, at this point, anything's on the table. And you know what? That Avi Loeb, the Harvard scientist, he actually said that. He said at this point, where this thing is at, and the analysis has been done, anything's on the table. All options, just like you were implying, Graham. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. All options are on the table. So we're going to take a closer look at it later. You guys are going to be like, wow, how can that be a comet? I don't think it is. I really don't. All right, oh, there we go. We're up. Oh, you guys are hitting that like button. Keep hitting that like button, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I've got a lot more information to share with you guys. This video was primarily, I wanted to stick to one topic, the dirty E phenomena. That's what we've been calling it, dirty electricity. There is substance to what we're seeing here, or what people are seeing all around the world. These are just a very small fraction of the pretty extreme examples of large-scale events where something had to have interfered with the flow of electricity at a substation, at this entire facility, this entire parking lot that's, what, between 5, 8, maybe 10 acres big? Every light malfunctioning? Like I mentioned earlier, like in this video here, that would almost be like every car that you see here in this video getting a flat tire at the same time. Well, it was either just a random coincidence or the road was full of nails in that area. One of the two. And it probably wasn't just some random event. The road was probably full of obstacles that created the flat tires. Something's creating these lights to malfunction. It has to be a form of dirty electricity. There's only really one form. It's electricity that's contaminated. What's contaminating? It could be a variety of things. Is it of natural origin or is it of something else? No way of knowing, but I think these lights, like things in nature, and even though these are man-made, they're trying to tell us a story. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to interpret the story and figure out what they're saying. And to me, they're saying very loudly, dirty electricity. Absolutely, dirty electricity. I've seen phones malfunction, people's smartphone devices, the malfunction. I've seen monitors, I've seen TVs, headlights on cars that they saw with their eye before they started filming them. So it wasn't some sort of recording ratio digital artifact. They saw the headlights malfunctioning, seeing taillights malfunctioning, seeing 2 parking lots full of Tesla vehicles, the front and rear lights malfunctioning on, I think, 95% of the vehicles. I'll share that video later. 95% of the probably 250 vehicles in the parking lots, 2 parking lots, all of them were malfunctioning. And there was nobody there. It wasn't like they were having some sort of convention just to see if their key fobs worked. There was nobody there. It was the weirdest thing. Again, you can't make this stuff up. It looked like a prop for a movie, Tina Valco. Thank you, Tina Valco, for the super chat. Guys, I'm telling you, that really helps the channel. It really does. Keeps us going, you know. Tina, let me give you a super like. Tina Valco. Ah, thank you. That's really kind. Like your super there. Thank you, Tina. But yeah, I mean, there's something going on here, guys. It's been going on strong since November, and it's not showing, at least with what I see, and what you guys are seeing, it's not slowing down. Now, the more, if I were to show these videos every day, like I did back in December when I first started getting them, because I found it so intriguing, and I just felt, you know, in my core that there was something going on here. Now I share maybe once a week, but if I were to share them every day, we would get more examples, because it would inspire more people to look and pay attention to this phenomena that's still happening, because I'm still getting videos every day. There's 1 or 2 that come in. Am I getting, now there for a while, I was getting 10 and 12 a day, and 8 and 12, between 8 and 12 every single day for the longest time. I'm not getting that many anymore because I don't show the videos as much anymore, but it's still going on, guys. It's still happening. Hasn't slowed down at all. I'm approaching 2,200 examples. 2,200, that's a lot for one person. Can you imagine if 100 people were collecting videos, you know, just random videos from all around the world? It would be in the tens of thousands. I'm very certain of it. But dirty electricity is a real phenomena. I think that's what's causing it. That's my theory. I think it makes the most sense. I just don't see all these bulbs going bad at the same time. I mean, I understand that eventually light bulbs go bad, but typically when they go bad, they just go out. I've seen it my whole life, and you have too. It's not anything new. Light bulbs just go out. It happens, okay? I've never seen where they start blinking. I got a video from Cyprus out in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. The Eastern Mediterranean Sea. Multiple flashing lights. Cyprus. It's happening all around the world. Absolutely. Oh, you know what, guys? I just got my reminder right here. Reminder, UV reading. Here, I'll show you. Daily UV reminder. You guys ever use your... Oh, thank you, Magalina Masso. Do you have live footage of Atlas right now? I do. I do, but it's not ready yet. But I do. I'm going to share it in my next video. Thank you for the super... yeah, I've got some really cool footage that, to me, it shows that it's just not a comet. But my phone just reminded me that I've got to do the UV reading, and that's how I... because sometimes I'll be sitting here researching, building videos to get ready for presentation, and next thing I know, it's 12:30. So when you're measuring UV in your area or wherever it is you may live, you always want to measure it at noon to get, if you're looking to get the high UV. If you just want to know what the UV is, and of course you can measure it at any time of the day. I measure it at high noon or as close to it as I can, 1 or 2 minutes on either side, you're good. But when the sun is at its highest point in the atmosphere during the day, that is going to be your highest UV reading when you can't see your shadow. So when you're outside and you can't see your shadow, that's how, if we didn't have clocks during the day, that's how you would know it's high noon. When you look down and you can't see your shadow, it's time for lunch. It's high noon. So it is 2 minutes away from high noon out here in the high desert. So I'm going to go measure this UV. I want to thank you guys for joining the live stream today. I want to thank all of you guys for the super chats and the likes and your comments and your shares. It means a lot, and it really helps. It really and truly does. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I'm infinitely grateful. But listen, let me go measure this UV so I can have it for the next video. I've got Darren's UV reading from up in Abbotsford, British Columbia. We'll be sharing that in the next video. And Abbotsford is at the 50-degree north latitude. I'll show you guys where Abbotsford is at. These are the two primary places we measure. Abbotsford is right up here, just north of the border by Vancouver at the 50-degree north latitude. And then I measure down here in Arizona at the 33-degree latitude right in here. So they're about 17 degrees apart, or we are about 17 degrees apart. But for some reason, his UV is, on a clear sunny day, his UV is the same, if not higher, than out here in Arizona. So we'll see what it measures today. But right now it is 11:59, and I've got to get out there with my instrument and measure this UV. Listen, guys, thanks again. I'm very grateful for all your likes, shares, super chats, super stickers, and all your great comments. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.